Every town has its ghost story, but in rural Kentucky, it's more than a story. It's a curse. Highway 44, a lonely two-lane road cutting through farmland and forest. By day, it feels harmless, but at night, it belongs to her. The Gray Lady. She always looks the same. A girl in a heavy gray coat, standing on the roadside in the rain. Long black hair sticks to her pale face, but if your headlights catch her just right, you'll notice the coat isn't wet with rain. It's dripping blood. She doesn't scream. She doesn't beg. She only whispers one thing. Can you take me home? The first detailed report came in 1984. Harold Thompson, a factory worker, pulled over to help her. She climbed into the car, sat in silence, but Harold noticed her hands. Skin shredded down to raw meat. Fingernails snapped off. Fingertips bloody, bone glinting through. Then he heard it. Drip, drip. Blood pooling at his feet. He turned his head. Her jaw cracked open, unhinging, spraying blood across the dashboard as she gurgled a wet, choking sound. By the time he slammed the brakes, she was gone. But the windshield was smeared with a bloody handprint on the inside. When Harold followed her directions, he reached an old farmhouse. An elderly woman answered. When he described the girl, gray coat, torn hands, the woman broke down. "That's my daughter," she whispered. She burned to death on Highway 44, trapped inside a car that caught fire. They found her clawing at the windows, her skin peeled back to the bone. The years that followed only got darker. A college student swore the girl climbed into his back seat, coughing violently. But what came up wasn't spit. It was thick black water. Her chest split open as water gushed out, ribs cracking wide until her organs slopped into her lap. Another driver said she hacked up jagged shards of glass, spraying them across the dashboard. Each cough shredded her lips until her mouth was nothing but ribbons of meat and teeth. And then came the case that truckers still talk about. Ben Riley, 2006. Ben spotted her at 3 a.m., storm raging. Against his gut, he stopped. She climbed into the cab without a word. At first, she just dripped on the seat. Then the lightning flashed. Her skull was fractured wide open, brain exposed, hair matted with blood. One eye dangled loose, swinging on a cord of vein. Her chest was caved in, ribs stabbing through her skin like white knives. Her lungs hissed through open holes, wheezing with every broken breath. Her legs weren't there, just shredded bone, raw muscle, and meat dripping onto the floor. And then she smiled. Her gums were stuffed with glass shards. Bloody slivers jammed where her teeth had been, glittering red in the dashboard lights. She leaned forward, spraying blood across his face, and whispered, "Drive." She vanished an instant later, but the passenger seat wasn't empty. It was smeared with blood. Strands of long black hair stuck to the door. And a ragged piece of scalp, still warm, was left on the dashboard. Cops who worked Highway 44 admit the official reports don't tell the whole story. Some wrecks had claw marks ripped into the seats and dashboards, deep gouges where no living person should have reached. One body was pulled out with their face completely peeled off, stuck to the windshield, but the glass wasn't broken. Another victim was found with their fingers snapped off, bones poking out of stumps. Their fingernails were later recovered, embedded in the steering wheel, as if they'd clawed at it in a frenzy before death. And sometimes the driver's blood wasn't the only blood inside. More than once, deputies swore there were 2 sets of bloody handprints on the glass. The driver's and a passenger's. Locals say the farmhouse still stands. The girl's grave lies behind it. Every year on the anniversary of her death, something appears. Bloody streaks across the door, wet footprints leading to the porch, and sometimes, hanging from the railing, a gray coat, drenched in blood, stinking of smoke and gasoline. No one dares touch it. By dawn, it's always gone. But the most chilling stories are the disappearances. In 2011, a young couple drove late at night. The boyfriend called 911, screaming that someone was in their back seat. The call cut off. Police found the car idling on Highway 44. The doors locked, the inside painted with gore, teeth scattered across the floor, fingernails embedded in the dash, a strip of flesh stuck to the window, as if something had been dragged across it from the inside. But the couple was gone. Their bodies were never recovered. To this day, locals and truckers pass along the warning. If you see a girl on Highway 44, a pale figure in a gray coat, dripping blood in the storm, do not stop. Because if you let her in, she doesn't just vanish. She tears her way out. And sometimes, she doesn't leave alone. Sometimes, she takes you. In 2017, 4 high school seniors were driving home from a party. It was late, raining hard. Highway 44 was their shortcut. They were laughing, blasting music, until the headlights caught something on the side of the road. A girl, soaked, wearing a gray coat. She didn't wave, didn't move, just stared, her face hidden under wet hair. One of the teens, Mike, joked, "Come on, let's pick her up. She's kinda hot, right?" The others groaned, but before anyone could protest, he pulled over. The girl slid into the back seat. No sound, just dripping. At first, she sat still, but then, drip, drip, drip. Blood spattered onto the leather seats. Her coat wasn't wet with rain. It was soaked with gore. Amber, the girl in the passenger seat, turned her head. Her scream ripped through the car. The hitchhiker's hands weren't just bloody. They were raw stumps, tendons dangling, bones jutting out where fingers had been. And she was holding something, a severed tongue. The teens panicked. "Get her out!" Mike screamed, but the doors wouldn't open. The girl tilted her head back. Her jaw snapped wider and wider until it split her cheeks open. Skin tore down to her ears, spraying blood across the glass. Inside her mouth wasn't a tongue, just a ragged, gaping hole that plunged down into darkness. And then, one by one, she spit. Teeth, not her own. Dozens of them clattering across the seat, slicing into the teen's skin like razors. Amber tried to shield her face. When one tooth jammed into her eye socket, she shrieked as blood poured down her cheek. The driver swerved, but the girl lunged forward. Her head slammed against the roof. Skin peeled back, scalp tearing as her skull cracked open, spraying chunks of meat and hair onto the teens. She screamed, only it wasn't a scream. It was the sound of dozens of voices shrieking all at once, echoing like a chorus of the damned. The windshield spiderwebbed as her bloody fists pounded against it. But the blood didn't run down. It ran up, like gravity had twisted, painting the glass in red veins. When police found the car the next morning, it was a massacre. Amber's body was in the front seat, her skull crushed flat, face smeared across the dashboard like wet clay. Mike was in the back, his jaw ripped off, found on the floorboards. His body was torn open, ribs yanked wide like a grotesque cage. The other two, they were gone. Only fragments remained. Blood-coated teeth stuffed into the air vents, strands of hair woven into the seatbelts, and deep claw marks carved into the ceiling, as if something had crawled across it like a spider before vanishing. Locals whisper those missing teens are still out there, not alive, not dead, but bound to her. Some truckers claim they've seen more than just the gray lady now. They've seen a car trailing her in the rain, headlights flickering, windows painted red. Inside, shadows. Shapes of screaming faces pressed against the glass. Some say those are the teens, and some believe every time she takes a victim, they join her, not as ghosts, but as parts. Pieces she wears, drags, or spits out when she hunts again. And so, the warning still stands. If you see her on Highway 44, don't stop, because she doesn't just want a ride. She wants company, forever.